Now, the skies above Scotland can very often put on a show, but how often do you actually get to see them completely uninterrupted and without light pollution? Well, the Isle of Rum might just have an offer for you.
Yeah, the community is bidding to get dark skies status and, in the process, boost tourism. It's a perfect spot for stargazing because of its lack of artificial light. The Nine's Elle Duffy has been hearing how Rum residents want to make the most of it.
Nestled in the heart of the small isles lies Rum. It stretches 182 square miles and is home to just 30 people. And the community here have a collective mission to turn off their lights and take in the stars.
Just on the last time we went out, we had meteors going above our head. We had planets and some amazing galaxy shots that we saw as well. 97% of the island roughly is nature reserve and protected land, naturally with no lights at all. The village is very low in public lighting. We've got an incredible natural wildlife and landscape here, so it's the perfect place really to protect that.
That protection comes in the form of what's known as dark sky status. It's an international accreditation, which means they'll be able to bring in policies that restrict artificial light and preserve their night sky.
I think it'll mean that we can do more things for visitors. We can have hopefully some telescopes available for them to use anytime throughout their stay. It means we've got more events going on, hopefully more funding for different things that we want to put on and do here.
This is as light as it gets on Rum at this time of night. It's about 10:30 and you can see just some lights on the horizon, some fishing boats, maybe some lights over at the pier, but there's no traffic on this island. There's hardly any buildings and there's no street lights anywhere in the village. And it means that this community is already doing all that they can to protect their dark sky. The next step for them is to get that official recognition, and if they are successful, they'll join other places in the UK and be able to say that they have one of the darkest skies in the country.
When there's a full moon, it's pretty amazing how bright it is, because you can just see the moon and it really lights up everywhere as if it's daytime.
Driving across the nature reserve, you'll see Highland cows, red deer and some very friendly wild ponies. But you won't see the 120,000 nocturnal seabirds whose survival depends on darkness.
Around a quarter of the world's breeding population of Manx shearwaters that return to Rum to breed every year, and the birds make their flight straight from the island, their very first flight. They'll fly, and that's them starting their journey to the coast of South America, where they'll spend the winter. So on that very first flight leaving Rum, if there's any artificial lights, they can be drawn to those lights rather than reaching the sea for their onward journey. We already publicise the need to use blinds and turn off kind of lights as much as possible at that time of year, and this would just be another little layer of protection and promotion for the birds.
For those in the village, it's business as usual during the day. It's their tourist season and their main accommodation is booked out. But they're feeling the pinch of the cost of living crisis and the closure of some of their main attractions.
The castle was the biggest draw for Rum. People came on the ferry to see the castle, go on a tour and then go away again mostly. So it was up to us to try and provide other things they needed, like food and gifts and things, craft stuff. And the castle's gone, so the tourists have gone that came for that.
Hi there!
Despite the challenges though, people keep coming back, and it's little wonder why. This is truly incredible. We're on the north of the Isle of Rum. We're at a place called Kilmorey. That's the Isle of Skye just across the water there, and the views are just spectacular. It's no wonder, looking at views like these, this is exactly why people choose the Isle of Rum to come to every summer, whether it's hill walking, walks along the coast, or just to enjoy a little bit of peace and quiet.
And quite a few visitors come to get away from everything. Some do it every year. I've been doing it for decades and decades. Some of the older folk you meet, you chat to them. They've been coming here. They know everything about the island. They've stayed in every house when they've been bothies or stuff. So there's all that kind of connection around the country, around the world with people who love rum.
But like anywhere in Scotland, these sunny days are few and far between, and in the winter months, this island is almost empty.
One of the main reasons for the Dark Sky programme, other than the huge benefits that we'd expect from the nature side, the flora and fauna side of things, is bringing people in off-season. Best time to view the skies is from October to March in Scotland, so it's great to be able to have things going on throughout the year.
While their dark sky application is ongoing, the island wants people to know they're open for business all year round. Elle Duffy, BBC News.
Well, here to shed a bit more light on this subject is Stephen Gray, who's the president of the British Association of Planetaria and a fellow of the Royal Astronomical Society. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Stephen.
No problem.
So I suppose starting off, to talk to us a wee bit about the difference that it makes to have, for example, in a place like Rum, to have a total lack of street lighting and traffic and large buildings. How much of a difference does that make when you're looking up in the sky?
It makes an incredible difference. So from here, sort of in the centre of Glasgow, you can see a few stars, maybe the brighter planets, but not much else. You go all the way to Rum, that light pollution is away, and you can see over 3,000 stars with the naked eye. The Milky Way will be arcing overhead, and you can see incredible views. There's an amazing difference when you take people there for the first time and they see it's like the clouds have been lifted, and they see the universe, the cosmos, in all its glory for the first time. It's incredible to see.
And is Rum pretty unique, or will we see this on other smaller Scottish islands?
Yeah, so we're really lucky here in Scotland. We're on the edge of Europe. So most of Europe is now really badly light polluted. So we've got some really amazing places in Scotland where you can have dark skies, but the difference is if a local community through the International Dark Sky Association protect their skies, then people can't go in and just put in lights wherever they feel like. These are then protected. So we do have some amazing dark skies in Scotland. We already have 5 other places that have dark sky accreditation, but Rum is really special, and it has this beautiful nature reserve on the island as well, and an amazing community who are really looking forward to to showcasing the skies during the winter months.
And it's not just islands, is it then Stephen, that can be designated as dark sky areas?
Yes, so there we have, the first one was the Galloway Dark Sky Forest. That was about 13, 14 years ago. We even have a dark sky town in Scotland, Moffat. And there's certain places there within the town where they've done the lighting properly, which means you can actually see the Milky Way from inside the town. So just with a little bit of thought and ingenuity, you can have amazing views of the night sky, whether it's in remote and rural or other places in Scotland.
And is it a good thing for an area to have in terms of still being able to protect that uniqueness? Or is there a danger that you'd suddenly get, an influx of people and that might actually alter the level of light there?
Yeah, so it's a fine balance, and Rum is a fairly small community, so we're not talking about having hundreds of tourists coming in one go. It'll be small amounts, small groups. We work with an Edinburgh-based charity called Care for Carers, and we're going to be taking some carers on respite breaks to the island, for example. Now, there'll be about 10 going on each visit, but that's, if you think about for the economy of the island, that's about adding a third to the population, and that means that these people are going to be spending on the island, spending time there, and it's a win-win for the community. And also you're doing it off-season when traditionally the island community is a bit quieter, there's not as many tourists around.
Mm-hmm. And do you need a sort of an infrastructure to do it? Do you need to be building kind of structures that would allow you to be seeing what's up above, or is it quite a mobile kind of process?
So yeah, I have a mobile planetarium, so we can take the planetarium and we can take telescopes and stuff to the island. They're looking to raise some funds to have some there. But no, there's not any other infrastructure needed to put in, just some knowledge from the local community, which again I'm working with them to make sure that they have the benefit of that. So they'll be able to learn about the night sky and then pass that on to tourists who come and visit.
Lovely to hear from you tonight, Stephen.
No
Thank
problem.
you so much for coming in.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Stephen.